When you think of Colt revolvers on the Western frontier, you think about the Peacemaker, the single-action army. But there were also a lot of Lightnings, including a gun used by Billy the Kid.
The Colt Company, especially from the late 1840s into the 1850s and 1860s, was a true pioneer in the revolver world. But as the 1870s come on, Colt's losing some ground because there are some double-action revolvers that are starting to come to the forefront as viable market options. And a lot of these guns are coming from Europe, particularly from Great Britain. And Colt needs to come up with a viable option in order to compete with these double-action, single-action revolvers like the British Bulldog that are coming in and becoming popular as self-defense arms. And the answer to this is the Model 1877. And what we particularly think of within that line is the Model 1877 Lightning. It's referred to today as simply the Colt Lightning.
Much of it looks very similar to a Colt single action, just kind of reduced. The problem is they were not reliable, especially the trigger springs, they always broke. At that period of time, it was really difficult even to get a gunsmith to want to work on the darn things. And when one considers the fact that the British and the French and just about everybody else had come out with wonderful, wonderful double actions, one wonders why Colt didn't actually just license one of their systems. But no, I guess, you know, no man's a prophet in his own land. Let's go ahead and make our own system, because ours is different, and different is always better. Well, in this case, it wasn't. However, that being said, the darn little thing sold in relatively good quantities.
But the Colt Lightning was actually only one version of the Model 1877. There were three different models. There was the Lightning, there was the Thunderer, and there was the Rainmaker. And these names were not names that Colt gave to these guns. These were names that were bestowed upon each of these different models by a major Colt distributor at the time, Kittredge Company. And it was really a kind of a marketing ploy. And this was done in order to distinguish the different chamberings of the Model 1877.
The Lightning became very popular because it came in all these different barrel lengths. You could get it as short as an inch and a half, and some of them as long as 9 inches. Unlike the big plow handle grip on a single action army, this had the very graceful bird's head grip. And these grips, you could get the grip panels in anything from rosewood, ivory, pearl, hard rubber, you name it. And then the finish of the guns, they came either blued or nickel-plated, as many of them were.
They were made from 1877 up to the beginning of the 20th century. And the strange thing is, the little Model 1877s, especially in the Lightning model, sold very well in Great Britain, where you could buy a real barn burner of a double action.
Probably the thing, unfortunately, that the Colt Lightning is best known for is how unbelievably complicated and finicky and fragile the mechanism really is. In order to make these guns work as double-action, single-action designs, Colt had to incorporate a number of different parts that were all tensioned by different springs, and these were very small, very delicate components, and they broke easily, especially the springs. And when the springs broke, it relegated the gun to a simple single-action mechanism, which meant you could still use it, it just wasn't what Colt designed it to be. But despite these issues, it still ended up being a hugely popular gun. Colt made more than 160,000 Colt Model 1877s all the way up into the 20th century.